My name is Brianna Rowland. My agency name is BR Insurance Advisory. I'm 28 and I have an office in McAllen. I took the Empower licensing course and it prepared me to take my state exam. I passed my state exam on the first try, and I do feel like if I didn't take the Empower course, I wouldn't have passed on the first try. So I do feel like it did prepare me greatly for that. After I passed my state exam, the process was quite easy. I think I did my background check, did my fingerprints, and I came into Empower for I think 2 days in a row. I did my AHIP one day, and then I contracted everything the next day, so it was very fast. After I got my license, Empower put me in 2 provider locations. It went really good because I got a lot of exposure, and I did get a lot of clients out of it because I would sit there multiple times a week for a few hours or even just half a day. And they were solid leads. If they were sent from the desk to my table, it was a sell. And it was for Medicare and Obamacare, so it wasn't just, focused on one. Provider leads were pretty successful. They're 100% sell rate for me. If I were to be sent, 8 Obamacare and 2 Medicare for the week, I would close all of them because I feel like having a desk with my flyer or me sitting there at the desk, it put some level of trust in them. So it was 100% sell rate. I would never not sell one. Empower provided me with leads as well as community events. Obviously through my provider locations, lead serve, but also at the community events, those were events done to generate more leads for myself and other agents that would sign up for that event. And it was instrumental in my success because I was able to reach my goals during AP as well as throughout the year. Because I not only got Medicare leads, but Obamacare leads. On my 11th month of being an agent, I was able to open up my own LLC, as I mentioned before, BR Insurance and Advisory. I opened up my own office in McAllen, and I felt like that was a big step for me in becoming more professional because I had my own space to have my clients come in. Everything was organized, I had a printer, I had all the, resources I needed in one place. I was able to dedicate specific hours, and I also have a booking app where they could book specific times to come in, whether it be for, Obamacare or Medicare. If it was going to be like a funeral plan where I knew it was going to take a little bit longer, I could double book them a block so that, I just felt like it was way more organized for me, and it was a big step in my business. Some resources that Empower provided right off the bat were the licensing course. It was packed with information that were actually on the state exam. So a lot of the things that were on the state exam I could remember almost word for word that I remember the instructor talking about. It was also really convenient because it was online, so I did it at home and it was only 2 days, which I thought was also crazy because for such a good paying, job, 2 days of class, it's nothing. So, and they also provided my E&O right off the bat, so I felt like they just handed me here's your license, here's your E&O, go sell, which was super easy to me, and I think that's why I stuck with insurance because it wasn't a hassle to get started in selling. Another resource they gave was my provider locations. Those handed leads to me, and that's what got me going, and after that, they also had the lead serve, which was another resource that really helped because as long as you were keeping up with your lead serve and marking, didn't answer or sold, they were just giving you more, they're handing you more. I also feel like the regional sales directors and the national sales director help a lot in that process because not only can you call them for any question you have, but they helped get you contracted in the AHIP test. Whatever you needed, they're like, come in, let's get it done. So everything went so smooth. And I also feel like something that's not a resource, but I'd like to mention is the positivity. So supportive as far as growth. I call and they're like, oh, we're so proud of you. Like, what are you gonna do next? Have you met this goal? And I just feel like the positivity, like the optimism, the support is something that is a resource to me. But that really helped, get me going, and it helped me make bigger goals and reach them faster because I didn't get, negative energy, calling or be put down at all. It was just always lifting whenever I called. So some advice I would give to someone debating whether to take the licensing course or not would be to think about the flexibility of the schedule they want. I know, especially for moms, it's important to have flexibility and give time to your family. You get to make your own schedule as an insurance broker. So I'm able to give a lot of time to my family. Also the financial freedom. So I was working a job and I started selling insurance part-time. I took about 6 months to replace my income from the job, and that's when I went all in with insurance. So I definitely think that taking a licensing course was something that changed my life, because I wasn't making nearly the income I was before, and I didn't give my kids as much time as I am now, because I get to stay home with them if I want. We can take trips and I can work from anywhere. If I'm taking a trip with them, I mean, I can call my clients back or take a laptop with me. So that's just some advice I would give to someone, you know, contemplating whether or not to take the course, and that's the advice I've personally given some potential agents that I've referred to a licensing course myself.